Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope everybody is having or have had a wonderful week or weekend. So this week, I'm gonna be a little bit more personal. I always say there's a balancing act between being personal and not too personal, right? And so admittedly, this week has been a little bit rough for me, mentally and emotionally. And one of the biggest contributors to that is still dealing with and processing the grief that comes and has come with losing my brother to suicide. And I made a commitment to myself, and I've promised myself that I will always, if given the opportunity and having certain platforms, that I will address this topic. I will talk about it. I will talk about him. I will honor him that way, in hopes that I can help somebody else. And so I did a video on it when it first happened, but if this is your first time to my channel, or you haven't gone back to watch some of my older videos, on May 28th of this year of 2022, I lost my older brother to suicide at the age of 45, and he and I are just 3 years apart. And so it's a process. The process of grief it's a process. It looks different for every single person. And the thing I'm learning about grief is that it comes when it wants to come. It literally will show up. I can be having what I consider to be like a good week and, haven't really had an emotional reaction to it. And the very next day I could just be driving and just, end up crying, or something can trigger it, or I just have a thought, or I just simply miss him. And so, that is happening. But then it's like whenever little things happen, have you ever had those moments where you've been like, it's not necessarily that all these like little bad things by themselves are a problem, my battery died, on a Monday morning on my way to work and to take Jaden to school, and, just all these little things, and them by themselves are not necessarily a thing that makes your day horrible or your week horrible, but cumulatively, right? Collectively, all of them together, and you just kind of feel like you're drowning, right? And so I entitled this video Drowning Above Water, because that's honestly, if I'm being completely honest, that is how I have been feeling the past week or two, where it's just all these different things. And then collectively together, it just, I felt like, a few days ago, I was just having actually like a physical reaction to it, in the sense that I felt heavy and I felt tired and I just wanted to lay down, and, and so, in essence, that word kind of came to my mind. I was like, I feel like I'm drowning, but I'm really not, because I'm not, underneath it all. I'm still moving, and I'm still breathing, and I'm still doing all these things. And so it's like the whole thought, that concept came to mind, that drowning above water. Have you ever felt that way, that you were drowning above water, where you're still, you're still moving, you're still doing all the things that you need to get done, but you still at the exact same time feel like you're drowning? And if you've never felt that way, then, and I'm hesitating because I kind of feel like most of us at some point in our life have felt that way. And maybe we just didn't have a way to express it, or a way to kind of think about it in that way. So when, somebody is potentially drowning, I hate to use that analogy, but what do we look for? We look for a life raft, right? We want to throw them a raft so they can, not drown, and help them. And so that is what I am doing today. I am throwing you a life raft, and raft, because I love a great analogy, acronym is actually the word I want to use, because acronyms stick with us. And if we could think about that word and think about that in a moment where we need it the most, then we can use that in a practical way to help us through a lot of what we're going through. So today, like I said, I'm throwing you a life raft. This has helped me, and I hope that it helps you as well. So raft, basically, I want you to think of it this way. You need to check your raft, okay? And you need to check all of these areas in those moments where it just feels like life is throwing so much at you at one time. Check your relationships, your attitude, your faith, and your thoughts. Okay, and that's what R.A.F.T stands for. So I'm gonna go through these very quickly, just to kind of give you examples and what that looks like. So checking your R.A.F.T, check your relationships wholeheartedly. Think about how your relationships play out in your life. Your relationships should be helping you, right? They should be lifting you up. They should not be bringing you down. If there is any relationship in your circle of people, friends, family, whatever, if there's any person, and that's, some people don't want to make those tough calls or tough decisions, that's bringing you down and it's not lifting you up. And in essence, it's kind of, you ever see like a scene in a movie and, maybe somebody's in the water and they're fighting in the water. And what's that person doing? They're like trying to pull them down underneath, right? And that goes along with this analogy of, right, drowning above water. Your friends should be trying to pull you up, right? They should be trying to encourage you, send you positive affirmations, send you, those words of encouragement that help get you through your day. I have a few of those people in my life right now that just right at the right time, the right moment will either call me, text me, voice memo me, you know who you are. And it's just, it's that thing that gets me to the next day. And then you got to do a self-check. Are all your relationships beneficial to you? Because if not, then it might be time to move some people around. I think I've talked about that before. Your attitude, you got to check your attitude. Carly decided to make a cameo today. Check your attitude, right? And this might be a hard one, right? It's so easy to allow stuff. It's hard sometimes when you're going through everything, right? And to just kind of have a woe is me attitude. And there's a time and place for that, right? Throwing a pity party for yourself is absolutely fine. You just don't want to stay at that pity party for too long, right? And a lot of times our problems will become worse because of our attitude, right? If our attitude is kind of funky and our attitude isn't good, and it's ongoing, it's going to be that much harder to pull ourselves up out of a lot of the issues. So we got to check our relationships. We also got to check our attitude, right? Then we got to check our faith. This one is going to be personal to each person. I am not shy whatsoever about saying that my faith is everything to me, and my faith is what has anchored me, has kept me going through the tough times. What is your faith in? Right? For me, wholeheartedly, and I'm making this personal because you're going to have to self-reflect and ask yourself, what do you have your faith in? But for me personally, my faith is in God. My faith is in Jesus. My faith, that is the thing that keeps me going. And it has not let me down yet. I will tell you, does it make life easy? Absolutely not. But it makes those tough times a bit more bearable. And then lastly, you have to check your thoughts, right? Rumination. That means when you're just constantly thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking over and over and over again about the same thing. And if that thing is negative, that is going to intensify the negativity that you're already going through. And so we really got to get a hold of our thoughts, get a hold of our thought process, and really force ourselves, be intentional about thinking about the positive things. I'll end it with this, on a Monday morning, the week that I'm recording this. Walked outside and my battery was dead in my truck. And I have a friend of mine, he joked, he kind of makes fun of me because the first time my battery died in my truck, I literally just I overreacted. I'm not gonna lie, because before I had my truck, I had a BMW, and everything that could go wrong on that car went wrong. And so I think I'm a little bit traumatized. And he was like, "Time out, calm down. It's just a battery," right? So it's, in essence, I actually handled it so much better. But it was a Monday morning. It just felt like a Monday morning, but I really had to keep telling myself, Favor, thank God your battery died in the parking lot of your apartment complex, as opposed to on the highway on a Monday morning during commute, right in the middle of rush hour, crazy traffic in front of your daughter's high school, whatever, right? And so it was choosing to think about that instead of allowing my thoughts to go to, woe is me, and, this is the worst way to start my week. So we have to be intentional. So I hope this helps somebody, because, I know what it's like to need encouragement. I know what it's like to, just kind of have a crappy week, or just have a week where just everything, it could be, again, all those little things and they feel like a whole bunch of big things, and you just need a word. So and throw in your R.A.F.T. I hope you check your R.A.F.T., check your relationships, check your attitude, check your faith, and then lastly, check your thoughts. And I hope that gets you through whatever it is that you're going through, and that you don't feel like that you're drowning above water. Hope you have a wonderful week or weekend. I'll see y'all on the next video.